the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Oh, what a Friday it is. Gorgeous weather in Norman, America. I am wearing a t-shirt and I'm wearing shorts for the first time in the year of our Lord 2025. Getting ready to hit the road down to Houston, which in itself is pretty anticlimactic, but that means I'm going to get to stop at Cooper Farms and have a delightful peach milkshake in Fairfield, Texas. Always the highlight of any trip down to Houston.
Oh, no doubt.
Because, Lord knows, I'm not going to Houston for Houston's sake. But, Grayson, let me tell you this. I have an amazing idea, an absolutely amazing idea that I have only just contrived within the last 24 hours. So, you've been out to my house in Blanchard.
Yep.
My wife and I just bought a house on Halloween of last year, so we've been there about 4 months now. And the entire back half of the lot, up until yesterday, had been covered in brush and saplings and natural area. And obviously there's a bunch of trash and debris back there that had, I guess, just accumulated during the course of the construction period when our house was getting built. And so I wanted to get the lot cleared completely. Thought about renting a brush cutter, doing it myself. Eventually just decided, you know what? I'll ask around, see if I can get some quotes, see if somebody wants to take care of this for me at a pretty reasonable price. And there was one guy that gave me a call, said, hey, I'll do this for a few $100. And so I looked at it. I decided, you know what? Based on what I would invest in renting the equipment and invest as far as my time and effort and sweat, yeah, this is probably worth it. So dude came out with a Bobcat yesterday. And he has this forestry mulcher attachment. I kid you not, Grayson. We had about a 15-foot evergreen tree in one corner of our lot. Dude, I watched him take this thing down effortlessly in the span of like 20 seconds. It just ate this tree, man. Just devoured it. I mean, he had the whole lot cleared in an hour. It was pretty impressive stuff. I have a new respect for heavy machinery after yesterday. Like, I need to get me a Bobcat. Shoot. I can make this kind of money just to go around and bulldoze stuff on people's property. I might be down for this. But anyway, the lot is now cleared.
That does underscore a really good point, though.
Which is?
Even though you like to do things by yourself, working with your hands, manual labor and stuff like that, there are some things you should pay other people to do.
Exactly. And it's one of those things that, you know, like, could I have done it myself? Yes. Would have been incredibly laborious and probably taken me an entire weekend. Yeah. Or I could just have a professional do it. It cost me a little bit more, but it's going to get done a lot easier and a lot better than I probably could have done it.
And you can use that time to do other stuff that'll, be making you money.
Bingo. A 918 listener on the text line says, hey, now, Parker, there are lots of great Sooners in Houston, myself included. Enjoy the ice cream. Love all of our Houston Sooners. I know we do have a big Oklahoma crowd down there.
I like Houston too, much more than somebody from Dallas.
So hear me out here, Grayson. The lot is now cleared. We've got about 2 acres, and the lawn just looks completely expansive. I mean, it's eye-opening to see how much space there actually is on that lot. Here is my concept. A watermelon farm.
Who the hell gave you that idea?
I came up with it. Watermelon is one of those things that you can grow in Oklahoma soil, right? Like, that's one of the...
I don't know a thing about botany, so you're teaching me.
But it's one of those crops that you can grow in Oklahoma based on the soil conditions, and they're going to do all right. And something like, come on, who's going to say no to 1,000 fresh watermelons at the end of the summer? Like, I'm not trying to be farmer's market guy necessarily, but...
Given your affinity for such places, I could see you doing it.
It's more so like, man, everybody in my life I can just bless with 3 or 4 watermelons. And then, of course, I can enjoy plenty of it on the back end as well. But I got to do something with all of this space. I got to grow something. Why not watermelon?
I had a joke that just came to mind, and I'm not going to say this one.
Oh, gosh. Yep, I think I know where you were going with that. But it's like, peppers, tomatoes, all this stuff. It's like, yeah, that'd be great. You can make salsa, all that. But watermelon? Listen, I could eat watermelon all day, every day, and not get tired of it. John in Commerce says, I got 100 acres of watermelons and can never get them sold. 100 acres of watermelons, John.
Damn.
Goodness gracious.
What are you doing with them if you're not selling them?
Gosh, you could supply watermelon to the whole state with that much.
Homeboy's going to solve hunger here.
A 405 listener says, Parker's going to turn into a YouTube farmer. No, never.
You gonna be a farmer influencer?
Absolutely not.
You're gonna be seen on Redneck TikTok.
Oh my gosh. See, that's the problem. I live in Oklahoma, but I am the farthest thing from a redneck,
right?
Obviously, and so yeah, I would seem inauthentic even if I did try to do that.
Do you like cantaloupe?
I do.
Okay, my mom grew cantaloupe when I was a kid.
Okay,
and that was a pretty enjoyable experience for us. So something you could try to grow there.
I'll consider it. Hey, here's the question on the YouTube chat today as we get ready to pivot to actual OU sports talk here. Is that it seems like every single year there's at least one Sooner that just owns Pro Day. And so far, Ethan Downs is owning the NFL Combine. Danny Stutzman ran a really good 40. Billy Bowman's going to test well, too. Be that as it may, there's only a select group of guys that get invited to the Combine. Pro Day is an opportunity for everybody to strut their stuff. Every draft-eligible senior can participate in their school's Pro Day. And, for instance, you go back to last year, Jonah Laulu was somebody that hardly did anything at Oklahoma. Grayson, I mean, he had one deflected interception off of Spencer Sanders in Bedlam 2022. That was about it. That was the highlight. That was the highlight of Jonah Laulu's, maybe the only highlight of Jonah Laulu's collegiate career, at least at the University of Oklahoma. He had previously spent 4 seasons at Hawaii. But come Pro Day, Jonah Laulu just cooks, man. So, and I forget which of the numbers. I think it was like high jump, he did really well. 40, he did pretty well. But like there were several testing drills where he would have been either tops at the NFL Combine or tied for first at the NFL Combine. It would have been like top 5 basically across the board. I mean, he did everything effortlessly at a very, very high level. And it was at that point that we all came to the realization, that this guy might not have done a whole lot at OU, but he's got the athletic traits that some NFL team might take a chance on him in day 3, which ultimately wound up happening. He was drafted by the Indianapolis Colts in the 7th round. This year, who do you think it's going to be at Pro Day that plays their way on NFL radars more so than they actually are? The three answers that I threw out there in the chat for you to select, you can always pick the other option and write in your answer. But I think Oklahoma has 3 defensive linemen that all, to varying degrees, have NFL traits, if not NFL production at the collegiate level. Trace Ford's one of them, former Oklahoma State Cowboy.
Oh, yeah.
Dejon Terry, long time starting defensive tackle, not only for Oklahoma, but for Tennessee and for Kansas before that. And then Caden Woolard, who had 9.5 sacks at Miami of Ohio as a true junior in 2023, got to Oklahoma, saw some rotational action. I think the word I've gotten on Caden Woolard is it was a little too much to ask of him to adjust to everything that the Power 4 level was going to demand in the span of one offseason. The thought is if Caden Woolard had another year, he would be a monster at Oklahoma. And he was decently impactful this past year in 2024, missed the last couple games of the season with an injury, but he's certainly a guy that you look at as toolsy enough to maybe play at the next level if he tests well at Pro Day. So who do you think it's going to be that pops off at Pro Day this year, like Jonah Laulu? Not necessarily to the same extent as Jonah Laulu, but who's going to have a good Pro Day for Oklahoma? Because that's coming up. Getting ready to flip the calendar to March. Pro Days in March every year. Jim in Arlington says, so Parker, you mean Mr. OU irrelevant? I guess.
He said Mr. OU insignificant.
Yeah, I think he means irrelevant because, Mr. Irrelevant is like the last
Well,
pick of the
yeah.
draft. And who's going to sneak into the 7th round? Anybody? What do we think? Let us know in the YouTube chat. And also, here's a question I want to throw at the text line because we do have a lot of listeners that listen on a regular basis and that just kind of go with the flow. They'll respond to whatever we're talking about. They'll engage with whatever we're talking about. And then we have some listeners that are a lot more particular. We love you just as much. Don't get it twisted. But there will come a point at which they'll say, why aren't you guys talking about this or that or these? And so, with that in mind, as we sit less than a week from the beginning of spring football at the University of Oklahoma, what storyline surrounding this team and this program going into spring are we not talking about enough? In your mind, what is the underrated or understated OU football storyline as spring football gets ready to kick off? Yeah, you can noodle on that one, Grayson. S. Rob Booman says, Parker, don't do it. Growing something in Oklahoma is like chasing fool's gold. It will just consume massive amounts of your time and money for basically no ROI. Well, that's a splash of cold water. S. Rob Booman.
Hey, I will say this to your watermelon point, though. You might get a decent ROI on that because watermelon's pretty damn expensive right now.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of things that are pretty dang expensive right now. Eggs? I need to get chickens.
I was about to say, chickens might be your better investment.
Well, eggs won't be this pricey for long, right? Because it's bird flu, as I understand it. That's the reason. We just got to get past the bird flu outbreak, and then egg prices will normalize. I don't know. Somebody who's more well-versed in economy and the actual food chain, let me know. But Minnesota Sooner on the text line says, Luke Elzinga, the man that can do everything. He's not going to get drafted because generally there are only 1 or 2 punters drafted a year, and it's the dudes with the prodigious legs. But Luke Elzinga, no doubt in my mind, is going to be a guy that gets an invite to an NFL training camp and could absolutely wind up on a 53-man roster next year because he's just really, really polished with everything that he does and everything that the position requires. OU fans kind of got spoiled with Michael Turk a few years back because Michael Turk could kick the ball a mile. I remember Michael Turk had an 85-yard punt, Red River rivalry game in 2021. 85 yards. That was the definition of a prodigious leg. But Luke Elzinga, he's got a big leg. It's not like Michael Turk enormous, but he's got a big leg. He can place it. He's got the way he stated, or the way he put it in an interview back in September, I think, is when we got to talk to him, was it's like he's got a bag of golf clubs. He's got different clubs that he can use for different situations, depending on what the circumstances require. So, yeah, Luke Elzinga, if he's playing NFL football next year, that wouldn't shock me. Jim says, hey, watermelon is expensive right now because you're out of season. Duh.
I don't know how that stuff works, man. I guess.
Well, you did watermelon grows in the summer. It doesn't grow in the winter.
Well, I knew that. I just didn't know that affected price. Again, like you, I barely passed my basic economic class.
Fair enough.
In college.
Boy, economics.
Bro, that class is miserable.
To this day, I've told this story before. I have no idea how I did this. The only test I ever aced in college was my economics final. I have zero clue how I did it. I mean, 36 out of 36 questions correct. And Grayson, I had not showed up to that class for a month plus. It is the only class to this day that I've ever just stopped attending because I didn't get it. And I just did not understand any of the concepts. I was like, this does not make any sense to me. Screw it. I get what I get as far as a grade. Walk into the final, ace it. It was the only test I ever aced.
I guess Oklahoma State is very good at doing this with basic classes because my economics class was hard for no reason. And I took a basic astronomy class that was hard for no reason and stopped going and did exactly what you did. I barely got a B in that class, too.
Colin Claremore says, when we get our house rebuilt, going to get our chicken operation back in stock and possibly add 2 goats and 2 pigs. All the eggs, bacon, and milk you can eat or drink. Well, I guess if you like goat's milk. I don't know if I've ever had goat's milk. Not a fan of goat cheese.
Goat milk is okay.
Really?
It's fine.
I'll take your word for it. Never tried it. Eggs and bacon, though?
Say less.
That's one thing that I will never get tired of. Eggs and bacon, if I had that for breakfast every morning, wouldn't complain. Brian in Bixby says, Parker, zucchini and squash are super easy in Oklahoma. Yeah, I just don't like zucchini or squash.
I don't either.
Brian. Like, I just,
I don't like either.
Watermelon, yes. Zucchini and squash, no. I could make zucchini bread, I guess. Zucchini bread's pretty good.
No, that's not.
You ever had zucchini bread?
Yes. See, here's a
Who's
rule.
your zucchini bread guy?
Here's the rule I live by. I eat vegetables. I do not like them in pastries.
Okay, that's fair.
Like carrot cake, don't like that.
Oh, I love carrot cake.
My extended family has it at Thanksgiving every year. I don't like it. Zucchini bread, any kind of people that try to sneak vegetables into anything that's supposed to be a dessert, no. I like those things separate.
Fair enough. Folks, Locked In is the show where we talk OU football, recruiting, and gardening. Where else can you get this combo on the Oklahoma airwaves? 405-651-3439 is where you can chime in on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Let's hit a break. When we come back, yes, we will dive full throttle into OU sports talk. And let's go back to that question I asked. What's the underrated OU football storyline right now heading into spring? The thing we're not talking about enough. We'll see what Grayson thinks. We'll see what you think. I might even tell you what I think. Coming up on the other side, you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Are you in need of purchasing your own health insurance? Are you turning 65 and confused about Medicare? Are you an employer looking at offering benefits to your staff? Call the agents at Allison Insurance. They'll sort through the confusion. They're not captive to just one company, and they'll get the best option for you. Don't get frustrated. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. Allison Insurance. They are the experts.
Coach Stoops here for Van Hoos Fence. If you want to work with the best local fence company and get championship service, contact my friend Mark and the Van Hoos Fence team. Van Hoos Fence gives each customer the most professional craftsmanship and competitive pricing in Oklahoma. From wood to chain link to vinyl to metal fences, the Van Hoos Fence team does it all. Contact the Fencing All-Americans at Van Hoos Fence, 405-735-1167 or vhfence.com. Coach Stoops here. Join me every week on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Monday morning at 7:45, I'll join the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland, and TJ Perry for the Stoops Review. We'll break down all the action from the weekend, and on Thursday afternoons at 4:45 with Teddy and Tyler on The Rush as we get you ready for the weekend slate. It's the best time of year, and you can find me exclusively on The Ref. Download the KREF app today so you listen from anywhere in the world.
That twinge in your knee isn't going to wait until Monday, and neither do we. At Orthostat, we've expanded, so you get better hours, better facilities, and the same great care. Open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week. Whether it's sprains, strains, fractures, or joint pain, from knuckles to knees and every joint in between, our same-day, affordable care gets you back to life faster. Visit OuchOrthostat.com to learn more.
Schumacher Law Group, when experience matters. Tracy Schumacher is a former prosecutor and former district judge. Whether it's a probate challenge, criminal charges, or contentious divorce proceedings, experience matters. The attorneys at Schumacher Law Group provide compassionate, knowledgeable advice, all while fighting for your best interests. Find Schumacher Law Group online at lawgroupok.com or call 405-701-1882. Hometown lawyers ready to fight for you when experience matters.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Get ready to unleash your inner fury at the Norman Sports Commission's Fun Run. Join us on Saturday, March 1st with a race right through Norman. You can pick your distance too, a half marathon, 5K, or a 1-mile fun run, each with an unforgettable run through the iconic OU football stadium. You can sign up for the Fury Run at thefuryrun.com. That's thefuryrun.com and be part of the action.
Once upon a time, our family had trouble with pests around our home. Did you know that stinging insects send tons of people to the hospital? And teeny ticks and mosquitoes can be all around the yard. Their bites can make people and their pets sick. Mice, rats, and roaches need food and water just like us. You do not want them to visit. They can spread disease and make it hard to breathe. I'm sure glad this story has a happy ending.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
Today's show has the Jason Fair's stamp of approval. That's really all I care about. If I have Jason Fair's stamp of approval, who else's stamp of approval do I need? He texted in and said, I love today's show. Football, crops, and a wicked forestry mower. Those are fun. If anyone would know, it is Jason. If you're not familiar with Jason, he is the, I believe his title is superintendent now at the Dornick Hills Golf Club in Ardmore. He was the director of athletic fields at the University of Oklahoma for many years. Switched
really?
jobs last spring. Yeah, he was the guy responsible for the glory of the natural grass at Owen Field at the University of Oklahoma.
Okay.
Which, by the way, there are way too few stadiums across the country at this point that still have natural grass. It's a tragedy to see turf taking over the world. I think it's something like it's down below 40 stadiums in the FBS that have natural grass. The overwhelming majority, almost 100 FBS stadiums now, have turf instead of natural grass.
I'll do you one better, and I think you might resonate with this a little bit more, Parker.
Probably will.
I find it more of a travesty that all these high school baseball fields are going to turf.
Preach that gospel.
Something about it doesn't look right to me. When I go to these high schools and there's turf that when the sun radiates off of it, it looks like a neon green. It just doesn't look right for baseball. No more grass stains after a diving play in the outfield.
Weirdest high school field I ever played on was in Plattsmouth, Nebraska. The infield was turf. The outfield was grass.
Which makes no sense.
It was really stupid. Really stupid. But that's neither here nor there. BYU, Iowa State, OU, maybe in that order. I might put Iowa State higher than BYU. Iowa State probably has the best natural grass I've seen. They have a fantastic playing surface up there in Ames. Glorious. It is everything that a football stadium should be when we're talking playing surface. They take immaculate care of that grass. And Jason Fairs took immaculate care of the grass at Owen Field for the years that he was employed as director of athletic fields. All the best to you, Jason, as always. By the way, he has the number for us. Look at that, 31. 31 natural grass stadiums, field playing surfaces left in FBS football. Kyle from Salisaw says, fun fact, turf is one of the leading causes of cancer. Yes, get it out. Get it out.
Okay.
Eradicate it.
At this point, though, and I came to this conclusion when I was like 16, what doesn't cause cancer?
Yeah. Fair point. There are a lot of things that cause cancer. It's just kind of the world that we live in now. By the way, this was funny. Glenn from Nashville, in response to one of the questions I threw out last segment, said, call me crazy, and maybe it's because I really like this kid, but I hope Jake Roberts shows out at the OU Pro Day. I think Jake Roberts could play NFL ball, but I saw this tweet earlier today, and this is the first thing I thought of when I read Glenn's text. I saw a tweet, and for the life of me, I can't find it now, and I can't remember who tweeted out. Somebody said, I've given up on trying to evaluate tight ends. I am completely lost as to which 6'5", 250, 4'6" white dude is going to be unstoppable at the next level and which one is simply going to be mid. It's so true, man.
That's very true.
Every so often, you get an alien like Rob Gronkowski. Everybody knew Rob Gronkowski was going to be a menace. But, outside of that, what makes Travis Kelce athletically superior to, I don't know, pick another tight end? Pick any other tight end.
You know what those two had in common, though?
What's that?
Given their personalities and their demeanors, you never would have thought they would become Hall of Fame players.
No, is it maybe just you have to be a kind of a clown, kind of a prankster type?
It's
personality.
Kind of. It's just like how to play defensive back, you have to have some sort of crazy about you. I guess that's the tight end personality. Is you've got to be
be weird to play tight end at a high level. I guess.
I mean, if you think about it in the NFL, how many tight ends are there out there that are all the way put together?
It's 100% correct. That tweet, I don't know. I've given up on trying. Brock Bowers again. That's an example of a guy that everybody watches him and thinks he's gonna be crazy good, but outside of guys like that, man. I don't know how you.
This is a good tight end draft, though.
It is a pretty good tight end draft. Harold Fannin, Tyler Warren, good crop. Really good crop. As far as underrated storylines with regard to OU spring football, Mr. Singleton, what say you?
It's going to be the one that I keep hinting at, but I don't think I've fleshed out this thought enough.
Okay.
I think it's a bigger deal than we're letting on that Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman are no longer here. I don't think we've talked about that enough. And look, Brent Venables is going to call the defense. He brought in some new faces in the linebacker room. So you feel like that's an upgrade there. Yes, Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman, their production seems like it's in a good spot when it comes to replacing them. You've got a good safety crop in the wings waiting. Linebackers seems like it's going to be okay. But there were so many intellectual things and so many things upstairs that made them great that it's not a given that you can replace them. Add that to their leadership and the intangibles that they brought along, the way they knew the game. Even though you're going to replace them with qualified, really, really good players, I don't discount that for a second. But them leaving and what they bring upstairs, I think it's going to be fascinating how they're going to replace that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing we're not talking about enough. We expect the defense to be really good, but part of what made the defense really good was the leadership and the experience of those two.
And I think with both of those position groups that they depart and the groups that now have to account for their absences, one of the advantages that Oklahoma has is they've got guys in those groups that got to learn from those dudes and kind of soak up what they could via osmosis, both in the film room and on the practice field, and even on the field on Saturdays for several years. Kip Lewis got the benefit of sharing that linebacker room with Danny Stutzman for 3 full seasons, as did Kobe McKenzie. Look at that safety group, right? Peyton Bowen spent 2 years alongside Billy Bowman in the film room with Billy Bowman, learning what he could from Billy Bowman. Same goes for Robert Spears Jennings. And so there are guys that are going to know inherently what we need to account for as a group now that these guys are out of the picture, and we have to step up and take additional responsibility for it. A 918 listener on the text line says, anyone can be replaced. Yes, anyone can be replaced. That is true.
Can anyone be replaced adequately?
Can anyone be replaced? Well, I guess I should say it like this. Moneyball reference. Gunny will love this. They're sitting at the at the table with all the scouts. And Brad Pitt, Billy Beane, goes, "You guys keep trying to replace Giambi. I told you we can't do it. We can't. Now what we might be able to do is recreate him. Recreate him in the aggregate." One of the scouts goes, "The what?" You probably can't replace Danny Stutzman. Let's just call it like it is.
Can we state the obvious?
Yes, odds there is a linebacker on OU's roster right now that is as good pound for pound as Danny Stutzman. Not high in my opinion. But you have enough collectively from the guys that do occupy that room that you can recreate Danny Stutzman's contributions and his production in an aggregate sense. Same goes for Billy Bowman. Same goes for Ethan Downs. And those are the three key pieces that you lose on the defensive side of the ball. The others, you feel like not only can you replace them, but you can upgrade from them. For instance, I mean, Dejon Terry really didn't even play all that much last year.
No.
I mean, he was in there, especially at the beginning of the season. He was drawing starts, but like towards the back half of the season, it was Dominic Williams and Jaden Jackson, and when it wasn't, it was Grayson Holton. And so you can certainly replace a guy like that. You're going to have to recreate some guys in the aggregate, and Billy Bowman and Danny Stutzman are two such players.
Can I throw this back out at you real fast, too?
Of course.
Who was the signal caller? Who was the signal caller on the field?
Danny Stutzman.
Have you seen when football players go on these late shows or go on any kind of show and they demonstrate how to communicate a call into a huddle? That's a whole skill in and of itself.
It is.
And doing that and making the checks, that's why I place the emphasis on upstairs with those two.
And
Kip Lewis might be a fine intellectual person.
Mm-hmm.
You and I are fine intellectual people.
I like to think so.
Ain't no way in hell we can do what Danny Stutzman did in terms of calling a play out of a headset to the 10 other guys and then making your pre-snap checks.
And conversely, like if you'd interacted with freshman year Danny Stutzman, you would not have thought, oh yeah, a year from now, this is the guy that's going to be making all the calls and checks for Oklahoma on the defensive side of the ball. Because he was completely he still does have an off-the-wall personality. He's
Absolutely.
just learned to kind of rein it in a little bit. But freshman year Danny Stutzman was wild, man.
I've got a Danny Stutzman story that I'll tell you off air.
Okay. I'm very eager to hear it.
I think you find it funny.
Probably so. If it involves Danny Stutzman, it's probably going to be funny. Let's see what else we have on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Somebody said fried squash is the only squash that's good. Y'all, we got to stop frying everything, okay? Like squash is just one of those things. Just let it be what it is. It is not true that frying anything makes it good. Squash is just not good. There's Mississippi pot roast. Fried zucchini is dang good. No, it's not. That UPS guy says not talking enough about the impact Randall Stevenson will have on Oklahoma. I thought it was kind of a funny parallel last hour. I said in many ways Randall Stevenson is the Elon Musk of Oklahoma football.
I heard that.
He is a guy that's just had a lot of success in business and happens to take an interest in an organization that needs somebody with a high business acumen to be able to come in and aid in the decision-making process, and so here he is. He is, as of, Wednesday, the chair of football at Oklahoma. So he is the big boss in many ways. Here's what I can't really quantify, and I don't think any of us can. How, when, and where will you feel Randall Stevenson's impact directly? What are you going to see? What do you hope to see from OU football that would reflect the influence of Randall Stevenson specifically? Like, what are you going to see that is very conspicuously able to be traced back to Randall Stevenson?
The only thing I can guess is the way they spend money. That's the only maybe their economics get a little bit more efficient in terms of pricing players and whatnot. Otherwise, I'm with you. That part hasn't reckoned with me yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's a great example, but even so, if that might have been something that on Tuesday we would have figured, oh, yeah, if we start seeing change there, you can point to Randall Stevenson. Well, now everybody's going to point to Jim Nagy, right?
Right,
so
exactly.
I don't know. It's a good thought. It's a good thought from that UPS guy on the text line, but again, practically, I'm not really sure. How will you be able to quantify Randall Stevenson's impact in terms of the on-field product, what you're going to see on Saturdays in the fall? I am not at all sure.
I don't know if comparing Randall Stevenson to Elon Musk should make us feel good.
Okay, just to be clear, that was not my comparison. Somebody else compared Jim Nagy to Elon Musk, and I said, no,
Why?
if there's an Elon, it's probably Randall Stevenson. But yeah, that's a polarizing comparison these days. One thing we do know about Randall Stevenson is that he will not be tweeting like a fool.
I hope not.
I don't even think he has a Twitter, does he?
That's a pretty good idea.
Elon tweets a lot, man. He tweets a lot. Tweets a lot. He tweets about a lot of things that I'm just really like, Elon, what are you doing with your time?
He also, he has infinite gobs of money.
He does.
I don't really think he needs to do anything.
Man, if I had Elon money, here's the thing. I'm just backing out of society. I'm moving to, Montana or Idaho, somewhere picturesque and remote, maybe Colorado, and I'm just chilling.
It's not the fact that he tweets all the time, because, he is the owner of Twitter. Go for it, tweet. I don't care. We didn't know who the previous owners were anyway. It's the fact that he tweets like a 12-year-old girl.
Oh gosh, I'm sure the text line will have thoughts about that. They always do whenever politics.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not his opinions. Don't factor into this. It's the way he talks, and the emojis. He literally tweets like my little sister talks.
Yeah, he's also just he's not funny.
No.
When I see videos of him trying to make jokes, it's you don't know how to make this land.
No, he's just not funny at all. Period.
He's got money, though. Would I trade places with him in a split second? Absolutely, I would. Good on you for building an empire, Elon Musk. Okay.
That UPS guy, did Randall Stevenson help get Jim Nagy?
As I understand it, yes, he was involved in the search process, as was Jake Rosenberg, as obviously was Joe Castiglione, and Brent Venables was involved as well as the head football coach. But on the other side, here on Locked In, we'll get to more of your questions, more of your opinions as we gear up for spring football at the University of Oklahoma. 405-651-3439 is how you can chime in. One segment to go on this Friday installment of Locked In. Keep it right here.
Hey, Sooner fans.
Hey, Sooner fans. It's
Hey, Sooner fans. This is Jaron Kanik, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, Sooner fans. It's Jonathan Jackson here. Yeah, the same JJ who's to wreak havoc on offenses every Saturday. Now, I'm fighting in a different arena, the courtroom. If you've been hurt in an accident, I'll sack those insurance companies and make sure you get the justice you deserve. Remember, it's simple. Get help, get justice, get JJ Law. Call me at 855-GET-JJ-LAW. That's 855-GET-JJ Law. On the field or in the courtroom, I've always got your back.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
A happy place comes in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Victory Family Church. It's more than just a church, it's truly a family. And as it continues to grow, you can now celebrate with 6 opportunities every Sunday morning, starting as early as 8:30 a.m. with our final service starting at 1. Learn more about service times and everything going on with Pastor Adam and the church at victoryfamily.church. That's victoryfamily.church. Check out our campuses in Newcastle, Chickasha, and Shawnee. Victory Family Church, online at victoryfamily.church.
5 Iron Golf is now open in Yukon, Oklahoma. Escape the Oklahoma weather and play world-famous courses like Pebble Beach on state-of-the-art TrackMan simulators. Perfect your swing with expert coaching or just kick back with delicious food, craft cocktails, and a lively sports bar vibe. Planning a party, corporate outing, or fun night out? 5 Iron Golf has you covered. Visit 5 Iron Golf to book now and experience the future of indoor golf and entertainment in Yukon.
Tired of soaring insurance expenses or feeling uncertain about your coverage? At Right Way Insurance, every client receives a dedicated team of experts committed to addressing all your insurance worries. As an independent insurance company, they provide both personal and business coverage. Let them assist you in finding the optimal coverage for your specific needs. Contact Right Way Insurance at 405-607-6014 or at rightwayinsuranceok.com. That's Right Way Insurance, your trusted partner at 405-607-6014.
Oklahoma baseball single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark and Boomer Sooner.
I guess we lost like 3 minutes of air there. We dropped off the air for a time. Not sure exactly what was going on. Thanks to all of you for hanging with us through the technical difficulties. This is what happens when Drake's not in the office. Dang it. I mean, everything always crashes and burns when Drake leaves.
Yeah, why couldn't this happen during you and Steely's show when Drake was here?
Isn't that just the way it is? Every single time something disastrous happens, it has to happen at the worst possible juncture, at least in the radio industry, at least. Glenn from Nashville on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line says, speaking of Elon Musk, if OU hires one more CEO of football, director of football operations, or whatever other title they're going to create, Elon and his lieutenant are going to come doge the OU football program.
Don't get me started about that. I just watched a piece on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver about the Doge and what they've been doing. Do not get me started with that.
Brian Bixby says, Parker, you're a normal person. Elon is a maniac. Well, you can have your own opinions on him, I suppose. I haven't really formed an opinion. I do my best not to form opinions of political figures, and that's what he is at this point. He's a political figure. Sooner Dude, yes, thank you. You are a sane human. You can fry Brussels sprouts and they're still terrible. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just fry anything and expect people to eat. I guess there are some people that will eat anything. But fried Brussels sprouts? It's the same thing with, like, I will never understand. And I know that there are some of you out there that love it, and you're perfectly entitled to your opinion on it.
Ooh, I have a guess where this is going.
I just don't understand the fried okra hype.
Oh, my God. Get out of here, Parker.
What?
You don't like fried okra?
No. It's like what? Why are you looking at me like that?
Bruh, come on now. Fried okra. Now, here's the thing. I don't like normal okra. See, Okra's the one thing that I agree that you can fry the distaste out of.
Yeah, see, and this is my point. Like, if something is not good, if something is not generally eaten by the human race outside of when it's fried, why are we eating it if it's fried? You know, like, I've never seen anybody just eat regular okra. Like, you know, it's not like you're getting a side of okra at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
But fried okra, you can get that anywhere in Oklahoma. Why is okra the thing that we decided to fry?
I don't know, but it's good. Here's a better question. Why did we decide to start frying pickles? Pickles taste just fine the way they are. Whether you like them more tart or sweet or whatever. Why did we decide to fry them? They're good fried, don't get me wrong. But why is that? Why did we decide to do that?
Sooner Soldier on the text line asked, Parker, have you ever had a Black Diamond watermelon from Rush Springs? Yes, I have. A boy. Those go hard. A listener in the 405 brought up the uncertainty at tight end as an underrated OU football storyline heading into the spring. Will the position become relevant again? Kanak moving to H-back, he could turn out to be a bruising runner. I guess. And maybe it's not out of the realm of possibility that Jaren Kanak gets like 10, 15 carries on the year. Just like, you know, short yardage, put in the shotgun, direct snap to him, or just hand it to him, let him go straight downhill. I mean, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, but that's not the tight end in Ben Arbuckle's offense. And so I'm going to be real interested to see how Jaren Kanak actually adjusts to the tight end position. Because, and I don't know that this has been talked about a whole heck of a lot, Grayson, he's not that big by tight end standards.
No.
6'1", 6'2"-ish? Like these days, like Cade McIntyre is considered small by tight end standards, and he's 6'3", 225.
Yeah.
So Jaren Kanak is the smallest tight end you got. Now, he might be the most athletic. In fact, he probably is. I don't know if there's much of a dispute there. He is the most athletic tight end you got. But he's also the smallest.
My guess, because he's so athletic and also because he can just, and I've learned this about his special teams abilities, his ability to just stick his head anywhere he wants to and cause problems. My guess is that he's used as an H-back type in certain packages.
Are we thinking like, here's maybe the best comparison I can make in recent years to what Jaren Kanak might be at Oklahoma. Jeremiah Hall? You remember Jeremiah Hall?
Yeah, uh-huh.
I can see it. I don't know exactly how Ben Arbuckle plans to integrate him. We'll all find out together come spring and obviously come the fall. But Jeremiah Hall was another one of those guys that wasn't like terribly physically imposing, but Lincoln Riley and that Oklahoma staff concluded, okay, this guy's athletic. He's got a very multiplicitous skill set. We can do something with this. We will do something with this. We will find a way to make him valuable in our offense. And they did that for 4 seasons at Oklahoma. So Jaron Canick's utilization will be interesting to me, but just in a more general sense, like who emerges as the lead dog at tight end? Because that is wide open right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the most wide open starting job on the team. Because if you make an argument for Devon Mitchell, or you make an argument for Caden Helms, or you make an argument for Cade McIntyre, I can every bit as easily make an argument for Jaron Canick or Carson Kent or even Will Huggins, right? Like, there is nobody that, at least right now, you would consider to be the odds-on favorite as the starting tight end come week 1.
I think we can eliminate Jaron Canick from starting tight end if we're thinking of a modern-day tight end. I think we can eliminate him there. Caden Helm is the most fascinating. Because I think Caden Helm, in terms of, from what I've seen, in terms of him being a really good receiving tight end, I think he's got the better upside. At least he's shown it more so in limited snaps at Oklahoma. Obviously, Devon Mitchell hasn't gotten on the field yet, so we await that. But I think in terms of who you want to emerge as a starting tight end, I feel like Devon Mitchell's the only correct answer here.
That's the one you want, yes. I think if you're an OU football fan and you want the former blue chip dude to look like an actual blue chip dude, if you want the guy to live up to expectations, you want your top recruit at the position in the last decade to be all that he's cracked up to be, you're hoping that the answer is Devon Mitchell. By the way, the text line's cooking you for watching John Oliver. I don't know really anything about John Oliver.
I don't give a damn.
I don't know why they're cooking you, but people have strong opinions about John Oliver.
Did you ever watch the Daily Show with Trevor Noah?
No.
Are you even remotely familiar with it?
Not really.
Okay. I mean, it's basically just they do a bunch of research. It's like a more political commentary show where they do a bunch of research, cite their sources, and make jokes, while also having a call to action.
Okay. I know John Oliver's face. I know his voice.
I knew, given our listening clientele, I knew nobody was going to take that very well, and I don't care.
Okay, so I'm drawing inferences about John Oliver in real time based on what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay. Colin Claremore says, talking about Elon being childish, but Parker is more picky than my toddler. Oh, please. That's ridiculous. Why? Because I don't want to eat fried okra?
Probably seen less movies than your toddler, too.
Somebody compared it to potatoes. Potatoes aren't good raw, but they're great fried. There are a zillion ways you can eat potatoes. How many other ways are people eating okra? I guess there are some people that pickle okra. But, outside of that, why is okra the one thing that we decide, yeah, you know what, this sucks, but we'll fry it, and we'll make it a staple of regional cuisine?
Now, that is very regional, which I'll give you a pass for not eating fried okra. You having grown up in Nebraska, I will give you a pass for not developing an affinity for that.
I appreciate
that. That is a very Southern thing.
It is, and I learned this when I came down.
Have you had it, though?
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like it. Ronnie Crimson on the text line says, Carson Kent is winning the Mackey Award. You heard it here first. And then he also said, you've never had mashed okra.
Ronnie Crimson, I don't never want to hear from you again. That's gross.
Oh, love you, Ronnie. Love you, Ronnie. Should be a great weekend for OU baseball. Hosting Cal State Northridge. A lot of OU sports action this weekend. Baseball with their 3-game set. Obviously, basketball going to Ole Miss. Softball's got a doubleheader right now. So much going on in the OU sports world, and we will be back on Monday. Same time, same place, to discuss it all with you here on Locked In. For Grayson Singleton, I am Parker Thune. That brings an end to our show and our week here on The Ref. But don't go anywhere. Teddy Lehman and Tyler McComas have 3 more hours of OU sports talk on The Rush coming up.